Hey, what's up? It's bitch time, baby. What's happening? Here with J Doubles. What's happening?
Motherfucking, you know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is.
I'm back.
I'm back. I'm back.
I am.
That was a little
True,
loud. I'm gonna pipe that down a little bit. All right, we're here to talk about this new clip from the Aladdin movie. Where
I'm not going to talk about
where Will Smith sings the Prince Ali song, and John, that motherfucker is so flat. It is startling.
I haven't heard it, and I'm not gonna.
Okay, well, it's like Prince Ali, fabulous, hey Ali Baba. It's terrible.
So, Are you suggesting that the album Will 2K had some post-production elements on it?
First off, yeah, probably. Second, rapping isn't singing. And this, I don't want to say this is like an insult to the artistry of rapping. It's, it's a valid art form on its own, but it isn't, but it's rhythm based. It's not melody based.
It's not the same thing as the bombastic show tune style
of Prince Ali, fabulous, Ali Baba. And it's hard not to watch and be like, what, Disney doesn't have fucking auto-tune? There isn't anything we can fucking do to clean this up a little bit?
I've never liked any Disney music.
Really? Any Disney
I don't like
music?
show tune kind of... I just don't like show tune kind of stuff at all.
You don't?
Not even a little bit.
Wow. Not even like a Sondheim postmodernist show tune thing?
First of all, every time you evoke postmodernism, I think I'm going to have to tax you.
Okay, that's fair. So, I mean, Sondheim is genuinely one of those, but okay.
I mean, it's a distinction between postmodern and modern that has just been... It's a distinction
did you finish Stoner? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, and well, first of all, you were like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to get to the part where he gets mad about postmodernism," but that literally never happens.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
And you must have read an interpretation.
Oh no, yeah, I totally did. Yeah,
written by a lazy thinker.
Oh well, okay. So, what does he get? He gets mad about something, though, right?
I mean, he gets mad about a lot of things. He's sort of like this hayseed Missouri kid who grows up on a farm and then finds himself in academic literature. But these bourgeois East Coast dudes come to his university and sort of take it over. And there's an art of bullshit to what they do that is fundamentally at odds with his sort of Protestant work ethic approach to the classics.
Uh-huh.
And this tension plays out in various ways.
Yeah, so he's the villain of the story, right?
No, he's not. I wouldn't say that it's a book of moral absolutism like that. But since finishing, I started reading John Gardner's On Moral Fiction.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, this guy has got some takes.
Oh, what's he saying? What's going on?
Well, he just thinks that pretty much everything is garbage in terms of literature, and he's just going off. Unfortunately, he died in a motorcycle accident in 1982.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was alive, I'd love to have him on the podcast.
Oh, to have him on the show,
just like some scorching motherfucking take.
What has he slandered thus far?
Well, he really does hate stuff that is, at least stuff that is classified as postmodern, stuff that's like sort of morally nihilistic and just leans primarily into like formal play and just sort of flexing all the little moves you can do.
Okay, I think that calling a lot of postmodernists moral nihilists is not quite the truth, but go ahead.
No, of course it's not quite the truth, but I mean, this is what he's rallying against. And he's, of course, doesn't even believe that, postmodernism is actually a thing.
Oh, damn. Wow.
I mean, acknowledging that requires that you acknowledge that books that were formerly ambitious at a certain time, just almost accidentally being defined as quote unquote modernism is something that we should stick to, right? These sort of genreifications are, no good. But Gardner overall is just like a massive social justice warrior, and thinks that like all this literature being put out is just doing nothing to try to improve the world.
Oh yeah, he's one of those.
Right, and he's like, if we're not actively,
art is pointless, guys.
He doesn't think that art is pointless. He thinks that it's very, very meaningful, but that nobody is, making meaningful art because they have abandoned art as a form for social change and social justice.
All right.
Which NBA player do you think has most abandoned their craft as, a potential form for change or for meaning? And they're just out there sort of playing, just sort of creating things.
1,000% Steph Curry.
Oh, you think that Steph Curry fits this description?
Yeah.
He's past it. I mean, that would help explain why he produced a Christian propaganda film.
Yeah.
That's his new form.
Yeah, although, I mean, I guess that's his meaning. But I'm just saying, on the court, I think that Steph Curry is really pursuing pointlessness as a form, There's no struggle,
There was last year when the Cavs started out this season and they had the most hodgepodge-ass roster after the Kyrie trade, There was a lot of bad basketball being played, first of all. But also, like, Kevin Love in particular and Isaiah Thomas to some extent were out there just looking like they were playing basketball almost kind of sarcastically. Like, they were just, like, so done with the bullshit that they were dealing with that they were out there just, like, completely abandoning the craft of basketball as some sort of, form of meaning and just going through it, trying to be kind of sardonic, kind of subversive at times. They're like the sort of body language of the passes.
Do you think that there's been some Knicks Carmelos that maybe did that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe. I mean, we're gonna see if LeBron gets there, I think, pretty soon.
Oh, I think that he's definitely going to be there.
Yeah. Dwayne Wade.
I mean, this Lakers coach hiring situation is definitely going to get him there.
What do you? So they hired Vogel. What do you think of that?
Well, they hired Vogel, but they basically also hired Kidd. They're basically head coaches, right? Because they made Jason Kidd the lead assistant, but they made him lead assistant in a way that was not, Vogel had nothing to do with that. There was actually.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this probably isn't going to work.
It's 100% not going to work.
You know what? I don't think that your lead assistant should be richer than your head coach.
I think that's right. I also just don't think that you should predetermine a lead assistant and then everyone that you hire, you're like, you have to have this guy as your main guy. Because it actually, I think, makes the lead assistant more powerful than the head coach. It's like, we've already committed to this guy. He's 100% in, and we're maybe going to commit to you.
Also, you probably shouldn't hire Jason Kidd. He's a dickhead.
You also just shouldn't hire Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Because he just wipes his ass on everything.
Yeah. It
kind of breaks my heart, because it doesn't really break my heart, but as a basketball player, Jason Kidd, one of my favorites of all time. As a human being and as a post-playing professional,
terrible.
Just dog shit, wall to wall.
Horrible.
Just horrible.
a nightmare.
But just like fucking outstanding to watch play. Like he was Russell Westbrook, but smarter.
Uh-huh.
He was Westbrook minus the needless bravado.
I'm really sorry. I know John is telling me to bring energy, and for a second there, I really did just like stop and sit in silence while I listened to wind chimes. I did the exact
wind
opposite
chimes are
of
kinda,
energy.
I mean, they're kind of pleasant wind chimes.
Yeah. But just for a second, I didn't have anything to say about that statement in particular, and so I sat in silence, and then I heard wind chimes, and I was kind of, taken away for a second. Not good energy.
Hey, it's fine, but so the Lakers, LeBron's team,
Lake Show.
Tonight is the NBA draft lottery. They are by far and without question the number one team that if they won the lottery, it would be the shadiest result.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. Knicks are second.
No, I think that the Knicks that would be normal. They have the highest odds.
They do?
But
wait, they do?
I mean, they're tied for the highest odds with the four other worst teams. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, but what about Bulls? Oh my God, sorry. Do the Bulls?
No.
Do the Bulls have bad
Number
odds?
2 is obviously the Cavs.
Uh-huh.
The Bulls have like just a shade below. I think it's 14% or something that the Knicks and the Cavs and the Hawks. I think the Bulls have the 6.
The only problem with calling the Cavs a shady one is that like what does the league have to gain from that exactly?
Well, that's what we've always wondered when they got the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. When various things have gone their way, but it leads to speculation as to what kind of power is Dan Gilbert wielding behind the scenes, and what kind of deals is he making?
Oh wow! How powerful is Dan Gilbert?
I mean, there's nothing is sort of more ripe in NBA content terms for conspiracy theories than the results of a draft lottery, a particularly loaded one. This draft
because they're all rigged.
Well, I don't know about that,
but okay, they're not.
There's cause to believe. I mean, Derrick Rose to the Bulls was pretty like, whoa, what's going on here? That was pretty weird. I think the Cavs getting the number 1 pick 2 years in a row after LeBron left was pretty weird.
Are you a frozen envelope guy?
See, what is this exact term?
Oh, you've never heard of it? When Patrick Ewing was going number 1, they used to pick it out. It was a straight lottery, as I recall. And they used to pick the winner out of a tumbler with a bunch of envelopes in it. And the theory goes that they took the Knicks envelope and they stuck it in a freezer so that Stern could reach his hand in and feel which one was coldest and take it out.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. You've never heard that before?
No, but I actually, if you go to frozenenvelopes.com, it's a sort of esoteric basketball blog that I was recently directed to, and I was like, what's a frozen envelope? And then I started seeing more people mentioning it. You know how like the first time you hear a phrase, it just all of a sudden it seems like you're just hearing it all the time.
Yeah. Like
it's been one of those. Cool. Right, you hear it once and then every day.
Hey Corbin, I like you. You're my friend.
Right, everybody's always saying that.
I think Corbin Smith, great dude.
Right. I think the president just tweeted it.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. At Corbin A. Smith, wonderful guy.
That was a good Trump joke. But you want to check out some esoteric basketball writing, frozenenvelopes.com. There's some for you. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm worried about a lot of my friends who are Bulls fans coming up on tonight.
Like who?
No one you know, but they're speaking about the possibility of getting the number 1 pick and thus Zion Williamson as if it's at all likely.
Is it?
It's not. I mean, it's not.
No, because they weren't the worst team in the league.
Even if you were the worst team in the league, there's an 86% chance that you're not getting him.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
So for the Bulls, it's an 87.5% chance, I think, that they're not getting him.
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, I don't think anyone
Okay,
should.
let's go through the lottery real quick. LOTETERY.
Lottery odds. NBA. This is the most hyped lottery we've had forever.
In a while. In fairness, since the Wiggins one, which...
The one that was, whatever year it was that Simmons was drafted, was pretty hyped just because of the teams who had the highest odds. It was like the Lakers, the Celtics, the Sixers. And with the Sixers being in there, it was actually like the culmination of, quote-unquote, the process as well. So I remember that being a lot of hype around that one. But this is the most that I can remember there being.
Okay. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go through every team, and we're going to determine if when they won the lottery it was fixed or not. You ready?
Okay, yeah. Send me the link to whatever it is.
Okay, I'm on the NBA Draft Lottery Explainer. If you look for lottery odds, I believe it's the first one. But also, I'll send it to you because I'm nice.
Yeah, you should just do that.
People are saying it more and more. Corbin, he's a nice guy. Okay.
All right, we're looking at it.
All right. New York, 14%. Would that have been rigged? No. Okay, Cleveland.
I mean, you can't. It's not rigged for any New York, Cleveland, or Phoenix. No,
just because they have high odds.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland is the one that's would be the fishiest to me, just because.
But the NBA does have a vested interest in the Knicks being good.
Yeah, well, they haven't done anything about it for quite a while.
Fair. That's fair. Do you think that maybe the NBA has Knicks nihilism? Do you think that they've acquired the nihilism that Knicks fans have?
You mean nihilism spelled with a silent K?
Yes, nihilism spelled with a silent K.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Knicks nihilism is, all permeating for the most part. Yeah. Their fan base feels that way. I mean, you got to imagine everybody in the organization feels that way. People who follow the NBA abroad feel that way about the Knicks.
Yeah. Okay, Chicago. How fishy would that be?
Like, not fishy. I mean, they have a 12.5% chance.
Okay. Atlanta. Would that be fishy?
No, and for those who take regionalism and other sort of, weird fan constructions out of the equation and just look at the situation aesthetically, the Hawks are the team that we should all want to get Zion.
Morally, they should have the pick.
You're right. John Gardner would want Zion on the Hawks.
Yeah. The famous dead literary critic, John Gardner.
Zion Williamson on the Hawks is social justice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. New Orleans.
Pretty weird. That would be
that would be fishy.
One.
That would be fucking fishy.
You skipped over one, though.
I did. You're right. Can we talk about New Orleans before we go back to it, though?
Yeah.
That would be straight up fucking fishy. The NBA is way too interested in having a successful franchise in New Orleans when there's no particular reason to believe that they will.
Okay, but I think that, first of all, I don't know if that's true or not. Secondly, I don't want you to embrace this viewpoint too much because it takes a little too much of a nihilistic viewpoint toward the devastated infrastructure of that city.
Okay. That's probably fair. It isn't just about that, though. It isn't just about that. It's about, like...
The Anthony Davis situation, it would be a massive bailout if they were to get the number one pick here. And if they got it, who knows what they would do with it.
Yeah.
They would probably take Zion and try to make Anthony Davis stay, basically. Be like, yo, like, this is actually what you've been waiting for.
Davis and Zion are not exactly a natural fit.
I'm sure they could figure it out.
All right. That's what everybody says until they don't.
Well, so the Pelicans have David Griffin running the team now, somebody who is pretty good at managing chaotic situations.
All right, that's fair.
And they brought him in as a fixer, clearly. And I think pretty clearly their desire is to keep Anthony Davis.
Really?
Now, what else are you going to do?
I recognize that there's a reality at work here, and you should operate in that reality. And that reality is that Anthony Clavis clearly doesn't want to be on your fucking team.
Anthony Clavis, baby.
Yeah.
Well, reality is fungible. Reality is reconstructible.
Uh-huh.
They got different people
you really
running
have
the
been
team
reading
now.
some literary criticism lately, haven't you, buddy?
Sure. Anyway, so they have 6% odds. It would be a little weird, given all that's been going on there. If the Knicks get the number 1 pick, some have speculated that they would want to trade it to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis.
So they got Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving.
Right. I mean,
just three guys who all want to kill each other.
Well, I don't think that the second part of that is true, but
I'm sorry. In 6 months' time.
Okay, well, there you go. And, well, who knows? Crystal ball. Mine doesn't work right now, so I can't tell you what's going to happen in 6 months.
Hey, I got some crystal balls right here, buddy. Oh! I got see-through testicles.
Nice, dude. The Hawks, the Wizards. That's a team that we skipped.
Yeah, pardon me. The Wizards, the Washington Wizards.
9% chance. Wouldn't be weird.
Wouldn't be weird.
I mean, it would be insanely weird. It wouldn't be like fishy though.
Yeah. I hope that it happens and they go, well, we just got to go forward with what we have. And then Zion Williamson just gets poisoned by everything.
He would be probably quickly poisoned,
Yeah. The Memphis.
6%.
6%. And it also it says that this pick may be conveyed to Boston, but I don't believe that's the case if they get the number 1 pick.
Okay, so if they got the number 1 pick, it's not that likely, but I don't think it would be fishy at all. And I actually think it would be awesome.
Yeah. Zion Williamson has Memphis energy, I think.
Well, and he would just pair really well with Triple J.
With J. Juge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a really awesome pairing.
I stopped watching Bob's Burgers for a few years there, and I recently picked it up again. What a fucking delight that show is.
I don't watch it personally.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I don't know if you'd like it.
I mean, I've seen it.
Oh, but it's not your cup of tea?
It's not that it's. I just don't have any opinions about it.
You don't like it when Zeke goes, "Come here, Jay Jr."
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Dallas 6%.
A little weird. That would be a little fishy to me.
What did Dallas just do? Dallas just did something.
They did the Porzingis trade.
Yeah.
It would just be a little fishy to me because they already have Luka. That's all.
Luka, that's what I'm thinking of.
They have Luka, and they already have like a pretty strong direction, regardless of what happens.
Luka and Zion are not aesthetic convergence at all. You know what I mean?
I don't think it would be a problem for them. I think they could figure it out very easily.
Okay, probably.
Also, aesthetic convergence is like the Warriors have really broken our idea of what aesthetic convergence is,
why so?
Particularly the pre-Durant Warriors, because the Durant Warriors are not like that aesthetically cohesive. Actually,
no, they're not.
But people still think of them in the same terms a lot as they did before Durant got there. And the team before Durant is like aesthetic perfection and just sort of role perfection in terms of the mix of guys. And now people are like losing their minds trying to figure out, whether Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are a perfect fit or something. And it's like, well, of course they're not, but like,
they're really not a perfect fit though. Every time I talk about this with
fine.
John, he wants to murder somebody because this just makes him.
I mean, they're fine. I mean, because, well, you do generally want to murder people when they say things that are like sort of really dumb. So, yes, in that case, you're right to suggest as much. But, I mean, you're talking about two guys who are elite defenders and still developing, particularly in the case of Simmons, offensively.
I mean, but is it developing if you've been the same since you were a rookie?
Well, I could contest that claim, but I'm not gonna fall down this slope with you.
Oh,
but
okay.
they were just one shot away from the Eastern Conference Finals. So, and one of your cornerstones is 22-year-old person who just finished his second season. So I would say that it's going pretty well, and that all of the consternation over the fit is a little overblown. If not, like the most impossibly overblown NBA narrative that I can ever possibly imagine.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when it comes to Zion and Luka, any sort of consternation over whether they fit, I think would also be overblown.
I mean, maybe you could do like a Luka Zion pick and roll. That would be pretty cool.
I remember people thought that like James Harden and Chris Paul wouldn't be able to play together either. And it's like, of course they can. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, they're both like really, really good though.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, those are two of the best players of all time.
Yeah,
but when it comes to fit stuff, I mean, again, I just think that the Warriors have broken our concepts of that, particularly because of Clay and Draymond and Steph, really, because Steph is incredibly selfless and just wants the team to win and will just do whatever. And Draymond is just like the most amorphous player. He'll just fill in whatever negative space he needs to and do it forcefully. And then Clay is like Clay might be, I'm not going to say the greatest, but at least top 5 in the category of guys who can score a fuck ton of points without dribbling.
Mm-hmm.
He might actually be the greatest of all time when it comes to this statistic that I'm about to invent, which is like points, the ratio of points to dribbles.
Mm-hmm.
I would be surprised if he wasn't the greatest of all time in that category. And if you're defining fit in the modern era with rosters using that standard in any way, you're just being ridiculous. That's what I think.
Minnesota
3%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would just be odd because of how unlikely it is.
Yeah.
But not for any other reason.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fishy though. I don't think that anybody involved is like we gotta get some talent over to Minnesota.
Also, and I apologize to any potential Wolves fans who are listening to this, I think that would suck ass.
Yeah, fuck the Wolves.
Because they don't handle anything correctly. They squander every good piece of luck that they get. It's just a horribly mismanaged franchise.
And everyone on their current team, they all hate each other.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even know if they hate each other at this point. They did. I think it's just malaise at this point, like a deep state of malaise.
Like they're all 40 now. They're all going to show up next season with mustaches. I
mean, when your head coach is like a child, it just makes you feel way older.
I forget who their head coach is off the top of my head.
Flip Saunders' son.
Ah, yes. Hey, come on, his dad died. That's when that's the day you become a man.
Okay, so when my dad dies,
you can have sex for the first time.
I get to coach the Bulls, apparently.
Yeah, sure. I mean, your dad didn't coach the Bulls.
That's true.
What does your dad do for a living?
He's retired now, but he was electrical engineer.
Well, yeah, you become an electrical engineer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You want to hear something wild?
I suppose.
Kind of bleak, actually.
Go right ahead.
Kind of bleak. 2 days later, Mother's Day kind of story.
Uh-huh.
My parents were visiting my grandma, my last remaining grandparent.
Uh-huh.
And I called my mom, talked to my mom on the phone. She's talking about the trip to go out to Nebraska, see my grandma. And, she's old as shit.
Does it say paternal or a maternal grandmother?
Paternal.
Okay.
She's old as shit, 93 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandpa died 10 years ago. So it's like, what do you really do after that? You're with somebody for more than 50 years and then they're gone. What are you supposed to do after they die, But anyway, apparently she has been openly saying that she wants to die for a while now, and that you should pray for her to die in her sleep. So everybody out there,
all our listeners, prayers up for John's grandma
to die peacefully in her sleep. That's what she literally says that she wants.
On having a die peacefully. I don't want to die in my sleep.
You want it to be a spectacle?
Yeah.
You want it to be like you're like running as fast as you can while shitting and pissing and puking and crying.
I don't know if I go that far. I want like people around me, and I want that good DMT, because you get a big DMT burst when you die.
Oh shit!
And you get like ego death, and you become one with the. You become like one with the earth. You know?
Ego death, baby.
Okay, I've got this cockamamie theory. So they have these things now. They're like wraps that have fungus on them. And when you die, they wrap you with these things so that you can become composted. Right? I believe on a certain level that if my mind is in this compost, that it will retain some consciousness as part of a plant.
You'll be a plant.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that happens that way, I guess.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And that's what I'm looking for. I would like to be composted, and I would like to, be integrated into a mighty tree that lives for a very long time. And I want people to call the tree Corbin, and I want them to go up and touch the tree, and I want there to be a little plaque with my face on it, and it'll say like, "Here lies the great sports writer Corbin Smith." And I want sports writers to come on journeys, and I want them to say, "Oh, Corbin, what do I do to the tree?"
Well, I really hope that works out for you.
If anything, Minnesota should get rigged against.
Yeah, they inspire no confidence as an organization.
No, they don't.
They're 3% chance though. So
Towns. Okay, so everybody knows about my maybe somewhat performative Zion cynicism. What it comes from is watching Towns and seeing how limitless that particular dude's potential was, and how just completely fucked it got when he got to Minnesota. And
I just want to push out. I want to push back against that for a second.
Yeah, because he's against Zion or against him?
Against your take on Towns, because he's probably a top 5 offensive player in the league.
Yeah, but he's so bad at defense that. And kind of that it's like that he's still a disappointment. And so like
I don't know if I would say that. He's not really a disappointment. He's very good.
Okay, but his team stinks.
His team stinks. Wiggins is a disappointment.
Yeah, Wiggins.
The organization is a disappointment.
The thing that I have just begun to think is that you will almost never be wrong if you guess low on a player.
Sometimes you'll be wrong.
So rarely, though. So rarely. Often. Who have been the recent number 1 picks? Usually the number 1 pick is good.
DeAndre Ayton was. Ben Simmons was.
Okay. So DeAndre Ayton, I will say we don't really know with Ayton yet, but he hasn't he didn't show anything that made anybody weep. Tears of gold last year. Fultz has been disappointing for, in fairness, bizarre reasons, and we'll see how that turns out. I think Simmons has been disappointing. I understand John's perspective on it, but I don't know who else went in his draft off the top of my head, but
well, you're wrong, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your standard for coming to that conclusion? Like, what's your rubric for deciding that he's been disappointed.
Because he's such a... That's the thing, is that he's just such a weird player. Okay. Because
so now weirdness is bad?
But he does, like, fuck their spacing up, John.
Also, not really, by the way.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's so many ways in which you're wrong that I don't really know where to start. You know, it's like, how would you fix the city of Chicago? Well, there's so many things that are wrong with it. I'm not sure where I would start.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your takes on this issue have consistently been similar to that.
He really does have an incredibly high field goal percentage.
What'd you say?
I said he really does have an incredibly high field goal percentage.
Yeah, he's like wildly efficient.
Except for his free throws.
That is actually the number one flaw in his game, the number one thing he needs to work on. Either that or it's tied between that and just aggression, because his aggression isn't consistent enough.
That's the other thing, is that is that Ron, he's got like some Rondo brain. Is that fair to say? I wouldn't say that.
No,
right.
Not really.
Okay.
The pandemonium over the lack of shooting is just some sort of modern NBA hegemony bullshit, because would it be good if he could shoot? Yes, of course it would be good. Is that what's holding him back? Not so much. It's I think probably being too discreet in some ways. Like, if he doesn't have an overwhelming athletic advantage on a defense, he will become way too deferential, because he starts to calculate and realize that, like, you know, he can't just be super efficient going to the rack.
This isn't really about one picks, though. It's about other things. It's about like in Simmons' draft, the second person who went was Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is a disappointment.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I don't think you can say people are disappointments when they're on their rookie deal, for starters.
Okay. But okay. Except that when you get one of these high picks, like, the hype that surrounds that player is almost inevitably, this person will change your franchise in some way.
Right.
Every time. And that's what the people behind the fucking desk say. What?
They frequently do, though. Like, Ben Simmons changed the Sixers franchise.
Yeah, but Brandon Ingram didn't change his franchise.
But that's the Lakers are in a situation where not even LeBron can change their franchise, except to make it more dysfunctional.
Yeah.
It's shit franchise.
All right, next is speaking of, the Los Angeles Lakers have a 2% chance. If they got that pick, how fishy would it be?
One of the fishiest things that's ever happened in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, it would be unbelievably fishy.
What if that does happen? Why do you think it happened? Like, what do you think the NBA's reasoning was?
They just need the Lakers to be better.
Was it about the Lakers or was it about LeBron?
It's both at this point.
Okay. What do you think they would do?
What would you think? Who would do? The Lakers?
Yeah.
Probably try to trade the pick for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, probably, right? Which would benefit
if the front office could buck up and get over their Lakers exceptionalism enough to do it, which they just don't think that they have to give anything up for a star. Basically, they're like, how about you take
that would benefit New Orleans, which is also pretty fishy.
Right, man. I have a friend who's from New Orleans and a big basketball fan, and you know, his fandom for the Pelicans is very challenged and fraught, as anyone's would be, right? But he spoke of it in terms that I didn't even really consider, where it was like Anthony Davis wanting to get out is part of a long line of guys wanting to get out. So of course there's Chris Paul, right, before they were the Pelicans, which first of all, he said that when they were just the Hornets, he wasn't really a fan, because it was like, that's not even our team. That's just like something that the NBA moved around, and it just sort of ended up here. Mm-hmm. But he was sort of a fan, you know, but he wasn't really able to buy in until they were the Pelicans. They had their own name. It was regionally specific. And then when they had Anthony Davis, they actually had a guy who could take them to like the playoffs and stuff, right? So it's like, took him that long to really buy into the team. But when he was a little more just sort of bought in, even he mentioned like something that I hadn't even thought of, which was Baron Davis wanting to get out of there. After the Hornets franchise bounced around and finally ended up in New Orleans. For a while, it was New Orleans / Oklahoma City, right?
Well,
which I believe
because the flooding, they moved to Oklahoma City for a bit.
Right, but when they ended up in New Orleans, Baron Davis, who was a big time star at the time, this is before the We Believe Warriors, was just like trying to get out of there. He's like, nah, I'm not about it. So to my friend, this is like, as a Pelicans fan, this is like a long line of desertion, and of course the city itself is subject to much desertion and neglect and devastation.
Maybe you're not as good as you act like you are.
What?
I just.
Are you speaking to the victims of Hurricane Katrina in this way?
Well, it was a while ago.
Well, I'm going to start developing some pretty inflammatory Portland takes, just so that we can counter this unbelievably insensitive bullshit that you're peddling right now.
Well, it's just, New Orleans just has a really high opinion of itself.
I mean, Portland just sort of leads the world in sub-McDonald's cuisine that is incredibly overpriced. Just like sort of, vegetarian flotsam.
I know you're just trying to hurt my feelings right now. So, and I'm not going to take the bait on this.
Well, I think that your feelings should probably be subject to more pain than the collective victims of the city that probably most exemplifies neoliberal desertion.
Okay. It's
Then
why are NBA stars always trying to leave? Just saying.
Actually, my friend who again is from New Orleans and he lives here now, but he was saying that his opinion about that is kind of related to how it's hard to be rich in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if you move to LA, which is where all the NBA players live, it's like perfectly set up to be rich because there are all these gated communities. There's all these like sort of stratified elements to the society, right? Where it's like, this is where the rich people in LA go because only they can afford to be there. And there's some establishments like that in New Orleans, but overall it's not really like that. It can't even really feasibly be that way because so much has been destroyed that there's only so much infrastructure left and everybody has to use it together. So all these it's harder to be rich in New Orleans is part of what he said was the case. It's also a dysfunctional franchise.
Yeah, well, yeah, and maybe that fact about it makes it kind of hard to operate a fucking NBA team out of there.
I'm between now and the next time we record, I desperately need you to let go of this Blazers, Pelicans, small market energy.
This isn't a Blazers thing. This isn't a Blazers thing. I swear to God. I do
think that the Pelicans turning Damian Lillard into a diaper man.
Hey, I'm sorry. What the fuck is Damian Lillard doing right now? And what the fuck are the Pelicans doing right now?
Okay, the amount of energy that you just put into that suggests.
I mean, whatever. No. I didn't say anything.
You're not over it at all.
I didn't say anything.
You're not over it at all.
I didn't say anything. I just, the Pelicans are eating dog food, and the Blazers are about to beat the fucking Warriors. So there you go.
You're not over it at all.
Uh-huh.
And between now and the next time we record, I'm going to need you to bury those feelings.
How dare you? How dare you?
Perhaps my number one choice for the lottery, though, is the next team on our list, which is a 1% chance. It's the Charlotte Hornets.
Uh-huh. Wait, why would that be fishy?
Zion and MJ.
North Carolina, too, I guess.
I mean, it's just like, dude, why has a team that is owned by Michael Jordan not been allowed to have a star?
I mean, because if theoretically the NBA was rigging the lottery against Charlotte, it might be MJ would ruin this guy kind of thing, We can't let that monster get his hands on one of these youths.
Well, I mean, the Kwame Brown scenario does suggest that he's not great with that.
That's true.
It strongly suggests as much, but that was when he was still playing and still getting over himself, frankly. And frankly, Jordan on the Wizards was some mama mentality, toxic bullshit.
Wow.
But
I mean, I'm not sure even he deserves that.
I mean, for those 2 years, he does.
Okay.
But he's obviously gone through quite a bit of ego death since then. Must have taken some mushrooms or something.
Yeah, probably. Oh man. Oh, somebody should give MJ mushrooms.
I bet he's taken them. I just bet he has.
He does like to party.
Yeah. Next on the list, I'm sorry, not number one. 1% chance of getting the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Heat. What do you think about that?
I think that's weird, but not fishy.
It's not fishy. They would do good. They would maximize him.
Yeah. It would be a good idea. I mean, Pat. It would be hard for Pat Riley to, really fat shame the guy.
It would be hard for him to get minutes playing behind Deion Waiters, though.
We're talking about Zion right now?
Yeah.
They play. All right. I like to imagine that Pat Riley would be like hanging up Rob Liefeld drawings as Zion's fit inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not really in shape until you have muscles that sort of run up against the tenets of reality,
I had to look up Rob Liefeld, but now I know who he is.
Okay, thanks.
He's a comic book illustrator, guys. He draws guys real muscular and lean.
He does, yeah.
So now everybody's on the same page. The last one
David
on the list here. Well, he's not the only person who listens to this. The last person on the list, the last team is the Kings, 1% chance, but the pick is either going to probably go to, or will go to either the Celtics or the Sixers based on various terms that I don't understand.
But not if it's number one, even it'll do that?
I don't know. It says this pick will be conveyed, so it doesn't say maybe. It says it will be conveyed to Boston.
I mean, if it went to Boston,
I would stop watching the NBA and probably just kill myself.
Wow. Going with the old suicide for that one, huh?
I mean, what would you do if it went to Boston?
I would make money writing columns where I said that it was clearly rigged.
How much money do you think you could make off of that?
$600 or $900, I would say.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about that. How much time have we been talking? Let's take a look here.
48 minutes, 9 seconds, 10 seconds.
What about this? Who is it that the Warriors are about to beat in Western Conference Finals?
Maybe we should talk about the Eastern Finals first.
I just am trying to remember what the bracket is. Who's gonna?
Yeah, they're playing the Portland Trail Blazers.
Oh.
Do you know that I just get to not talk to Joey Devine for the next 2 weeks?
Sorry to hear that, dude.
Yeah.
Everything,
Joey, if you're listening to this, I hope we're still friends when this is over. But I'm not sure,
I hope you're protecting your feelings and that you're not thinking that anything good is going to happen here.
Why not? Durant's out.
Yeah, that makes them better.
Yeah, but the rest of their team is crappy.
Oh,
except for
unlike the Blazers who have Evan Turner.
I don't know if you just watched Evan Turner single-handedly win a series for the Portland Trail Blazers, sir.
I did see that he had his first good game in years. Yes,
sir. Look, the Blazers. They have a lot of interesting parts, and they can be configured into whatever killing machine they need to be, sir.
Okay, what is it? You're dangling some things around.
Sorry.
You gotta have to stop doing that.
I have a bowl of quarters.
It's the opposite of ASMR. It's like, stop doing it. It's more of a stop doing it kind of thing. I mean, the Blazers are going to lose. I don't know. It just depends on how motivated the Warriors are, basically. Stop doing that.
Doing what?
You know exactly what not
I don't know
to
what
do.
you're talking about, John.
The quarters thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, I'm going to hang up.
Okay, fine. I'll stop. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, any realistic assessment of the thing probably says that the Warriors will probably win. But I don't know. I don't get to be a fan of a team.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay. I think the Blazers have a chance. Why the fuck not? The Warriors are missing their best player. There's a lot of variance. It kind of seems like they're all mad at each other lately. I don't know. Why not?
Well, I mean,
if they had Nurkic, I'd probably be really gung-ho about it, honestly. But they don't. But, you know.
You know the meme, right?
Which one?
Of Bugs Bunny holding like a revolver, and it says, "Forgive me, but it's time to go back to the old me."
Yes, I do. I am familiar with the meme of Bugs Bunny holding the gun to his forehead. And it says, "Lord, forgive me. It's time to go back to the old me." Why are we mentioning this?
Because that's the Warriors right now.
Oh, because they're doing modernism again.
It's not about modernism. It's about
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Those early Warriors teams had nothing to do with modernism. Okay, John.
I mean, that's not the defining energy here.
Yo, you are fucking incorrect right now. That was 100% the defining energy of those teams.
I'm talking about right now.
Right now?
Yeah, this is not about whether it's modernist or not. It's about going back to original recipe. It's about going back to the old me, right?
With,
this is like
with the worst roster.
This is like when you go back
with the worst roster.
It's just like compared to what they're about to face. It's just
with an older, worse roster.
The talent discrepancy is just so massive that what you're saying doesn't matter at all.
How the fuck is the talent discrepancy so massive? Lillard is like 90% of Curry.
Lillard would be probably the fourth best player on the Warriors.
You can genuinely go fuck yourself right now. I think that you should burn in hell. That's fucking ridiculous. Lillard is clearly better than Thompson. He's clearly better than Draymond.
He's not clearly better than either of those guys.
Oh, he is clearly fucking better than Thompson. And to say he's not better than Draymond is to engage in esoterica so thorough that I can't even fucking engage with it right now.
Well, I did not realize that defense was esoteric.
There's so many fucking teams that Draymond would be on that would be a mediocre team. Clay too.
These are literally only takes that you would have if the Warriors were facing the Blazers.
It's fucking stupid. The extent to which you are devoting yourself to trying to get on my nerves is disgusting.
There's no devotion involved.
Lauri Markkanen is bad.
There's no way you could hurt my feelings talking about the Bulls.
All right, I guess that's fair. Jerry Reinsdorf will never die.
He's definitely going to die.
Prove it.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to protect you. I think that if the Blazers did surprise me in any way, I would find it pretty fun, honestly.
Shut the fuck up. I don't want you to find it fun.
Well, I do.
I want it to make you miserable. You're a fucking Warriors fan, John.
No, I'm
just
not.
Just fucking say it. Yes, you are.
I do.
Listen to you extolling the virtues of the pre-Durant Warriors. Like, what do we believe mean to you? That's what you fucking are, man. You're fucking Bay Area tech bro nonsense boy. That's what you are now.
Well,
Draymond is better than Lillard. What the fuck? Ridiculous.
I'm sorry. I'm actually not sorry. Whatever.
One of the premium guards in the NBA, Damian Lillard, and that just doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah,
fucking
he was
Clay. Klay Thompson has 2 fucking series winners under his fucking belt. You know, big like balls of steel. You fucking ridiculous. I cannot believe I'm listening to this fucking neo-lib Warriors chatter on my fucking podcast.
So Lillard was pretty good against Denver, huh?
Gary Harris is a good defender. And they were doubling him left and right.
You know who's a little bit better than Gary Harris at defense?
Who?
Klay Thompson.
No, he's not. Overrated defender. Get the fuck out of here.
You're out of control, dude.
I'm not fucking out of control. Gary Harris is so good at defense that they kept him on the court even though he sucks at everything else.
Man, you have some unresolved...
Also, Lillard was a leader who deferred to his teammates in a time when he was stressed out. Also, I've heard rumors that perhaps he was sick.
So, oh my God. I'm listening to a man's small market energy continue to shrink and get smaller and smaller. And we're really entering into quantum physics at this point in terms of market energy size.
Klay Thompson. Yeah. My small market energy is the problem here. Not your fucking neo-lib cookie cutter basketball fucking defense of Klay Thompson where you're like, well, he's better than Damian Lillard. You fucking asshole.
I mean, you're just throwing words around meaninglessly right now.
No, I'm not! No, look, we fucking talk about fucking neo-lib horseshit basketball on here all the time. Everybody plays their fucking role. Oh, we've got a process. Only moving the ball, blah, blah, blah. And that's fucking Klay Thompson bullshit. It's what he does. And you are sitting here trying to fucking act like that because Klay Thompson fits into these fucking neoliberal molds that means he's better than Damian Lillard. It's fucking ridiculous.
You're clearly crying wolf and not making sense in your use of the N-word here.
I am not crying wolf right now. I am talking to the fucking Joe Biden of basketball.
All right. Well, so what do you think about the East? Bucks, Raptors.
I think the Bucks are going to win.
What? I do too. Of course they're going to win.
At least in part because the Raptors kind of look. I don't know. They probably should have beat the Sixers in less games.
I don't know about that. I thought there was a good fight, but by the end of the series, you saw Kawhi doing so much.
Yeah.
Took 39 fucking shots.
Yeah.
And the Sixers played very good defense, so that was part of it.
Yeah, but I think the Bucks are better.
The Bucks are significantly better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the main problem here is that the Bucks are better at basketball. Also, they didn't just get out of a 7-game series.
They certainly didn't.
I'm also lower on Kawhi than everybody else, but that might just be me.
What's your reasoning? I think there's really only one reason to be a little lower on him, but what's yours?
I honestly, it's okay. I know that I just screamed about Klay Thompson, so try to respect me in this time when I use this analogy. I think that there's a kind of player who fits into roles and is pretty good at creating. I think that Kawhi is pretty good at creating, and he also fulfills roles. And I think that because he does that we tend to overstate how good he is at creating. I think he's an excellent player. I want to make this clear. But I think that saying like, oh, he's better than Giannis is just nonsense.
I don't think he's better than Giannis. I do think it's pretty fucking close, though. And that Kawhi's been objectively the best player in the playoffs. The only person you could maybe say is better is probably Jokic, but I would definitely take Kawhi.
I don't know if you're familiar with. Dame was not very good in the second round. Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah, he was.
CJ was really good in the second round because that's the thing. Okay, because that's the thing is that the Nuggets did everything they could to sell out on Lillard to make it so that he didn't produce, and fucking CJ picked up all his slack anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that is going to matter against the Warriors.
You rat face motherfucker.
They're a much better team than the Nuggets.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch Steph Curry foul out in the third quarter.
How is that going to happen?
Because he can't play with fouls, and so people are starting to learn this, and they drive at him. And so if Curry guards Lillard for any amount of time, Lillard's going to draw fouls on him. And then if CJ guards him, then CJ is going to draw fouls on him. The Blazers designed to draw fouls on Curry. Okay, maybe we're at the point where I'm making stuff up about how the Blazers are going to win, but
yeah, I mean Curry's not going to have to play with any aggression when they're up by 30.
Go fuck yourself. I truly want you to go fuck yourself.
I mean, how?
I hope that you are.
How can they play? How can they play? I hope that you
die in a Soviet jail.
Seriously, the serious question: how can they play Cantor for more than 10 minutes a game in this series?
They have Collins. They have other people to play in Cantor's role.
Oh, well, I guess if you have Zach Collins, you're going to beat the Warriors.
Evan Turner did play some center last series.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
Well, big shout out to my Nuggets. Great season.
Shut the fuck up.
The decriminalization.
Jokic is terrible. Kick him out of the league. He's a goon.
You're horrible.
Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke. He's great.
Jokic is beautiful innovator.
Yeah, he's great.
And
it was really nice when he said that he was happy to see Nurk walking around too, even though Nurk wore a shirt specifically designed to annoy him.
The decriminalization of magic mushrooms in Denver, though, really does open up a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities for them next year.
That was rude.
Yeah, I know. You're just way too vinegary now to continue with, so let's end this.
I'm not vinegary. I feel incredible.
Well, okay.
I'm bathing in orange juice right now, you fucking dick. That's how good I feel, because I know that the Blazers are about to pull this one out. Man.
I
Damian Lillard is Oakland's true hero. The Warriors are just moving to San Francisco because they are abandoning cowards. Damian Lillard is truly from Oakland, and everybody from Oakland should be rooting for the Blazers.
Well, I actually kind of agree with that take. There's nothing to do with who's going to win the series.
Yeah.
Let's log off, though. My headphones are actually running out of battery.
Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast on iTunes. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/takeitobreakit. I think we're going to be switching up how we do that soon. A little bit. So I was going to talk to John about that when we were done recording this podcast as it happens.
Take it easy, guys.
Anything else I'm supposed to say?
Nah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.